Taurus, a very warm welcome. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. So this is a reading for the month of May, guys. So hope you've got some nice surprises coming up, Taurus, and your healing is going well. You've moved on to calmer waters, away from someone that was wasting your time in the previous past. Previous past? What terrible language is that? In the recent past. So Taurus, those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, welcome back. So one more shuffle, guys, and I'm going to go straight into this reading. So Taurus, what's going down for you in the month of May? All right, umming and ahhing, all right, maybe a decision to be made. You're holding it all together, Taurus, throughout the month of May. This is you kind of like, juggling life, juggling things, trying to make a decision. Umming and ahhing might be an undercurrent of your month, okay? So you might not be too sure about decisions. So be patient with yourself, Taurus. Okay, look at this, great. The center of this reading, okay, the Empress. Okay, this can talk about the one if we're talking about love. But this is certainly about you, Taurus, living in your Empress energy. The Empress, she walks into a room. She just is. There's no, it's not feigned confidence. She's quiet. She engages when she feels that it's right. And she knows when to pull back, because she values herself, all right? So this is you throughout the month of May, Taurus, all right? Apologies for that dog barking in the background, by the way. All right, the challenge, okay, even though, we are the Empress here, Taurus, the challenge is the Knight of Cups in reverse here. You might be feeling a little bit all out of love, or not feeling romantic. Or you're certainly, maybe there's no offers, or you're not offering to anyone, and it's a bit of a challenge. You might be thinking throughout the month of May, but look, you know what? I'm the Empress, and why am I single? Just for some of you. Others of you, it's like the challenge is the Knight of Cups in reverse. This is, if we're thinking about partners, or if we're thinking about love, the Knight of Cups, it's charming. It's kind of like a young energy. It's romantic, okay? But in reverse, maybe you haven't really got anything around you which is deserving of the Empress, okay? And you might be thinking, when's it my time? All right, reason why it's all happening. You were burdened, Taurus, okay? The Nine of Wands here. And so this is like being burdened by the fact that, you have a lot to give. And you're just thinking, well, you know what? I'm not really meeting someone that can match my energy, okay? Taurus. All right, recent past, we've got the Emperor in reverse. Somebody wasn't taking control of a situation here. Somebody might have had Aries in their chart, just for some of you, not a personal reading, but it's just an energy, okay? In reverse, this is like the Emperor in reverse, not a very nice person, actually. When you call him out, it really is my way or the highway. But is their way such a good way? Does that make sense? So it's like, I want to be with you, but on my terms. That was in the recent past, but we don't want to focus too much on your past, Taurus, all right? It's all about forward movement, healing, and growth. Okay. Your focus is holding back. Your focus is being patient. And do you remember I said that to you? You're umming and ahhing, toing and froing. And for some of you, you might have had a very powerful connection that you had to let go of. And it takes a while for you to let go of stuff, Taurus. You're sensual creatures, right? But this is you holding back because something was burdensome. And with the Knight of Cups in reverse there, like I said earlier, Taurus, it's almost about, yeah, come on, back it up with a little bit of action and a little bit of control here, like masculine energy, for my female viewers. And so someone didn't take control of a situation, and you're kind of like all out of romance with the whole situation. You just dropped it. You just found it burdensome, Taurus, all right? All right, what you don't see coming towards you, we've got the Star in reverse here. Just watch your thoughts, Taurus, throughout the month of May. This is like it can be a lack of hope. But you might have lost, all hope in an old situation here. And you're kind of like wondering, well, you know what, when's it the Empress's turn to find something that not only is the Knight of Cups in the upright, a little bit of romance, but also someone, that's a bit of a leader, someone that takes control of situations, that masculine energy. Which can allow your Empress to thrive, right? The Emperor and the Empress. So it seems to me that I think Taurus, what you might have found is that, you were the emotionally mature one and can see depth and these kind of things, but you were dealing, maybe for some of you, you were dealing with someone that just weren't in control of their own life, their own decisions, and pulling your Empress energy down. Your energetic field, all right, look, Taurus, you might not be that happy, all right, but you're holding back. And there's a lot of yellow in this reading so far. All right, there's the yellow star in the star. There's strength, all right, which is predominantly yellow. The Empress, loads of yellow, and it's all about sense of self. And so, your energetic field is you might not be, thriving or feel like you're thriving or super happy. Okay, but I'm going to clarify this reading, guys, and we're going to go deeper with it. Outside influences, all right, death in reverse. For some of you guys that might have had a really strong connection, you don't feel that it's quite over. Maybe the window has been left open just to see what happens while you're working on your Empress energy. Death in reverse, nothing was transforming, okay? Outside influence, all right? So you might have given a really big window of time for someone to get their act together, but it just doesn't seem like it's happening, all right? All right, and you got your fears, King of Cups in reverse. This is like, the King of Cups in the upright, he's mature, likes a glass of wine, this dude. The King of Cups in the upright, he's emotionally mature. Not only is he emotionally mature, he's kind of like sensitive, but not overly soppy, if that makes sense. He's sensitive, he's sentimental is the word, all right? In reverse, all right, as a fear of yours, I think some of you guys, you dread emotional manipulation, okay? It might be something that you really fear, to be emotionally manipulated, all right? Just be careful of that, Taurus, because then you can rule out some really good people thinking everyone's coming from the same spot or place. Do you know what I mean? The outcome for you is reciprocity, whatever this might mean. This is equal give and take. So let's clarify this reading, Taurus, and see what's going down. Okay, so let's have a look. Some of you might have been, you might be really good at your jobs, but you've got a really shitty boss, all right, just for some of you. And you're holding back, what to say. You're picking your moments, or you're just staying quiet in true Empress energy there, going, you know what, this makes me unhappy. The boss might not be quite nice, all right, with the Emperor in reverse here. Right, let's have a look. Taurus, why is the Empress the center of this reading? Yeah, look, Taurus, throughout the month of May, all right, you're in your energy, all right, Taurian energy here, the Empress, and then we've got the Page of Wands. And so it really is a brand new start, okay, for you, with a newfound sense of, I'm not putting up with anything that's manipulative, nothing second best. The Empress just doesn't accept anything less than the Empress deserves, right? It's great. The challenge is the Knight of Cups in reverse. Why is that here? Ten of Pentacles. All right. So some of you guys might have a history of attracting people that are already attached to these kind of things. All right. And it's like, that's a challenge for you. But don't put yourself, to blame for that. Sometimes, people can come across to you and making out they're single, want to be with you, and all these false promises, and not taking charge of situations. So now it puts you in third parties and all these kind of things. So it's a challenge for you that maybe, you can't offer your love. You don't want to, because it's less than the Empress deserves, to someone that might already be in the Ten of Pentacles, building with somebody else, all right? Or staying in situations because of money. All right, Taurus? Yeah, look, it's probably still a little bit prevalent in your life, all right? A situation that went down, Taurus, that there was three people involved, Three of Cups here, all right? And you found it all to be far too burdensome. Yeah, recent past, all right, Emperor in reverse, nobody was taking charge of the situation, or certainly this dude wasn't, all right, for my female viewers. And you kind of like just drop the burden on the whole thing, all right? We've got the Nine of Wands here, and we've got the Nine of Wands over here as the reason why it's happening, Taurus. So you're holding back, all right? This is your focus. Yeah, you're holding back, all right, because you know that you can't manifest an outcome that you would have once liked. Others of you, you're holding back. You're being patient about not manifesting what it is you truly desire and want. Okay, so you're kind of like taming the beast. You're trying not to be impatient that things aren't happening in your favor, Taurus, throughout the month of May. Yeah, look, and so what you don't see coming is you might decide that throughout the month of May, guys, you just want to be left alone. Some of you might not be feeling that sociable. Might be quite a spiritual time for you with the Hermit here. The Hermit, used in the correct way, is really being at home. Your home is your sanctuary. Really being accountable to oneself, but also yeah, I made mistakes too. So it's like looking at different perspectives, not dissimilar to the Hanged Man. But it's a very spiritual card, all right? Number 9 might be significant. It's showing up a lot in this reading, whatever that might mean for you, Taurus, throughout the month of May. You're unhappy, or your energetic field is you're unhappy. You've seen the truth of the situation, all right, with the moon in reverse and the sun in reverse, all right? So, the moon and the sun, that's quite powerful for you. So your energetic field is, when I see the sun, it's not being happy. The moon is all about the end of illusions, okay? And, some of you could be in a situation, or just watch yourself talk. How was I so bloody stupid to get so down the line in a situation? For some of you, maybe third party, these kind of things. And you might be a bit disappointed with yourself, all right? Because you found a very deep connection with somebody, Taurus, all right? Okay. Outside influences, you don't feel that something's over, okay, but you just want to unstick yourself from the umming and ahhing of the Two of Pentacles, which was the undercurrent of the reading. You're probably getting bored and sick of yourself thinking, what if, and all these kind of things. And you're like, you know what, this ain't helping me here. I'm not manifesting what I want, all right? So fears. Yeah, look, you fear, Taurus, to be emotionally manipulated and treated as an option, not a choice, with the 7 of Cups here, all right? So the Empress doesn't put herself in situations like that. So throughout the month of May, guys, as a reader for you, and you're my priority, Taurus, I want you to foster everything that the Empress is. She's accountable to herself. She holds her head up high, dignified. She doesn't accept anything less than. And although she might fear this, she realized that it's not about her. It's not her fault. And so, your energetic field, remember being a little bit disappointed that, I'm coming out of an illusion now that there was something, I could have manifested something with a particular person. Just for some of you, it's not a personal reading, guys. The outcome is reciprocity, all right? Unsticking yourself from one-way streets, breadcrumbing, one-way situations, Taurus. I think you're going to make a major decision, all right, throughout the month of May, that I will not accept anything less than the Empress deserves. And that's not in an arrogant way. That purely is out of self-preservation, and it's about self-love, and it really is about loving oneself enough not to put themselves into a position of being an option. No matter how attractive somebody is, how attractive they are. It's like, you know what? Yeah, you're attractive, but you know what? I love myself more than this situation. I'm not going to step it into. I'm not going to step into anything like this, all right? It's all about reciprocity. The Empress does not accept anything less, Taurus, okay? So if it is about love throughout the month of May for you guys, all right, let's have some messages around that. It seems to be a bit of a love reading, okay? If it is about work, all right, some of you might have a bit of a shitty boss and you're losing a bit of hope, but you're taming the beast. You don't want to, speak your truth. But you might get reciprocity. You might get, some reciprocity there in an unusual way throughout the month of May. It might come as a bit of a surprise for you, Taurus. Let's have a look. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And you know what? It's not about being attractive. I think it really is unrequited love. I think for some of you guys, you might project a lot of your good stuff onto people that just aren't man enough or woman enough, all right, to take control, all right, with the Emperor in reverse here, all right? You know, the Emperor in reverse. So it's almost like the female, the Empress, is the stronger one. You know, she sees it, she feels it, she wants to take control. But the Emperor's in reverse, all right? The Emperor's got no clothes. I think that was a reading of yours a few months back, all right? One more for you. Yeah, sorry, unrequited love. I don't think it's a case of unrequited love, Taurus. I think it was more a case of that somebody couldn't stand up, you know, man up, woman up, and take control of the situation, which left you feeling burdened and like the, you know, a spare sandwich at a picnic. Do you know what I mean? And then we got passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing. So, you know, don't lose passion in life, okay? The passion might have been good with this person, Taurus. This might be a repetitive reading for you. But, you know, I post every couple of weeks. So, you know, there's only small increments of change between readings. So this might be spilling, you know, last month might be spilling a little bit into this month. But you're wising up, you know. You realize I'm unhappy and I'm not going into illusions. Enough of illusions. I'm seeing clearly now. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. All right, let's have a look. So, some advice for you throughout the month, a little mantra, something you can take into the month and think about, contemplate. Taurus, it's not a negative reading, guys. The reason why I say that is, as I say, there's a lot of yellow here. It's about center self. And it really is going forward, only accepting stuff that's reciprocal. Not overgiving, knowing when to pull back in love, in life, in work, guys, all right? Freedom, Taurus. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So you realize, you know, the Empress creates her own happiness. And so her motto is, look, if you want to come and eat at my table, then don't bring drama, okay? Take it elsewhere, but you're welcome at my table. Because the Empress doesn't take anything less than what she deserves, right? Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And I think a lot of you, you know, somebody failed to step up to the plate here. You might have given your heart away in the past, Taurus. Someone wasn't stepping up. You felt like a bit of an option, made you feel burdened. You decided to come out throughout May out of illusions and go, you know what, I was a bit stupid there. All right. But you're not, Taurus. You know, you have the power to love. All right. Which is a great strength. And, you know, you were in the upright. That person was in reverse. So, you know, it's like a divine counterpart, the Emperor and the Empress. All right. But that's only good if the masculine, for my female viewers, is in his true masculine, where he's taking control of a situation. So stay in your Empress. You know, there's people out there that are looking for the Empress, okay? And you just might unstick yourself and find something reciprocal, an equal energy match, Taurus. And that's what the Empress deserves. Let's have a look. One of these, okay, for you, Taurus. It's a good reading, all right? Loads of growth for you, all right? And you know what? Don't look back on resentment and these kind of things throughout the month of May. You know, basically, you know, try to look at it. Thank you for, you know, messing me around. It frees me up now to find exactly what I want. So I'm going to turn the Magician upright. I'm going to have the strength, okay, to hold out for what I truly want to manifest, as opposed to people wasting my time, my energy. Look at this. I can't make this shit up on Modern Tarot, guys. So do you remember I said there's a lot of yellow in this reading, which is all about the solar plexus, the sense of self, okay? Self-esteem, okay? Self-esteem, confidence, self-love, self-worth, pride. Now, this is how tarot works. Pride, we've got strength, okay? And then we've got self-love, self-worth, and confidence. Totally Empress energy, all right? This is your month, Taurus. This is May. And this is all about you being the Empress, not taking anything less than you deserve, okay? And not being embittered. Because the outcome for you is unsticking yourself and going, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to manifest reciprocity. And you do that by living your best life, being self-accountable, treating yourself to wine, taking yourself out to the cinema, taking yourself out to a restaurant, following your passions, following whatever the Empress wants. And she's not going out to meet people. This is the difference. She's not going somewhere hoping I meet someone. She just has faith she's going to meet someone that's going to match her energy. So she walks into a room and she's there for a purpose. And the purpose might be live music. It might be a concert. It might be a convention, talking about something she's interested in business. She is not going out to meet people. She doesn't need to. She's self-regulatory and she's highly attractive to people. But you've got to show up as the emperor in the upright to even get a sniff. That's a horrible word, isn't it? Even to get a look in with the Empress, okay? So Taurus, this is your month, okay? Empress energy, holding back from anything that's non-reciprocal and doing it in dignity, all right? Pride, being proud of who you are, how far you've come, Taurus, and self-esteem, Right, what I want to do, I want to leave you with one of these. This is a positive message, which is just going to back up this reading for you throughout the month of May. I'm liking this for you, all right? Loads of growth here. When I look at all those cards, the Empress, strength and self-esteem, that's beautiful, all right? Let's have a look at this. Give and receive love, okay? And it came out in reverse, which talks about you coming out of non-reciprocal situations in love, life, work, Taurus. Give love with a generous heart and receive love with an open heart. And it came out in reverse. And I think you did give your heart, Taurus, all right? And it wasn't unrequited love. I just think that somebody wasn't man enough or woman enough to step up to a divine counterpart, a beautiful connection. When you've got the Emperor and the Empress in the same reading, that is two people that should fight for each other, fight for a beautiful connection. But it seems that somebody wasn't man enough to do it. And I think now you're coming out of the illusion that, I'm going it alone, because I've got my self-esteem. I'm not letting anyone pull me down, all right? Brilliant, Taurus. If you're a song, okay, throughout the month of May, listen to the band, the lyrics. Might mean something to you. It might be a subliminal message that you can take comfort from, or maybe it might be an emotional trigger where you need to cry it out a little bit more, all right? Healing works in strange ways, right? Let's have a look. Wildwood by Paul Weller, okay? Very famous English band, all right? He used to be the lead singer of a band called The Jam. But Wildwood was, I think, on his first album, his solo career. And you will find yourself out of the Wildwood, Taurus, okay? By becoming the Empress and not settling for anything less in May. So I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a reading, you can reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to help you. In the meantime, self-esteem is key. Take care, Taurus. Bye now.